morning, everybody. It is Monday, the 23rd of December. We got a great crowd, and we're looking forward to having fun today. Lynn is going to share a big screw-up video with us. Lynn, tell us about your big screw-up video.
Okay, yesterday we went out to Whitewater Draw. We drove like 300 miles yesterday.
Oh my.
Going places. There's a lot of sandhill cranes out there. So I was taking video of sandhill cranes, and the focus kept going in and out. And so I don't know what to do about it. I just, on my camera, I just put it to movie, and I was panning and it goes in and out, and I don't know what I am supposed to be doing.
Boy, that's Todd's. Sorry.
If you're not panning, it's fine. But if you pan, then it goes in and out of focus.
All right, let's take a look at this.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Here we go. Hey, is this camera on a tripod?
No, it's handheld.
And what is the camera?
Is it on autofocus?
It's tax. I brought it along with.
It's not a focus issue because everything's in focus. To me, it's more of a. What's interesting is like there's a jerkiness to the video. That's what made me think that you had on a tripod. You're kind of moving it.
No, that's just me.
Well, let me look at it. Let's look at it again. I mean,
I love that.
it's sharp.
Picture. That was really good.
Yeah.
The one thing that I do see the little, like the jello effect, the stabilization. Here, watch at the very bottom here when she starts it. Watch down in here, and you'll kind of see this little jello-y effect. See that?
Yeah.
That to me says stabilization, but I mean, it's interesting that it's, if you're just doing a smooth pan, that it's so jerky.
Yeah.
Focus is fine. It looks tack sharp to me.
All the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Did you have the stabilization? Does it have it on the camera, and was it on?
you had it on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
too much coffee.
It's having troubles.
It's having,
Maybe going too fast.
it's not, I don't think that it's going too fast, but it's just, maybe the stabilization is trying to compensate if there's up and down. If we're standing there and we think we're doing this and we're kind of doing a little bit of this.
Yeah.
So the stabilization is maybe trying to help that.
Okay, so another thing, should I hold my camera further out? Like I got a.
You know what? If it's me,
Go like that?
it's me, especially was this wide or did you telephoto a little bit? Do you know? Was it a wider angle shot? A zoom lens?
Yeah.
If your telephoto, it's really hard to hold the camera out like this, away from you because you're going to get this.
Yeah.
I tuck my elbows.
Yeah.
And hold the camera. So at least now I'm a tripod as I'm turning.
Right.
And then if I'm wide angle, that's better. The other thing I would suggest, just give me a static shot.
Oh, I've got a lot of those.
Okay, just meaning so that you have something you can play with in editing. You won't have the issues of the stabilization possibly. So maybe afterwards we can take a quick look at your camera and just see.
Okay.
So if you put that in video editing and stabilize it in there, will do? No?
It might help a little bit.
It's gonna be
This is called use a tripod.
yeah, well there's that too. Yes.
Well, there is another thing. I had given the idea to, I can't think of it. It's not here. Anyway,
Joe Blow.
you can make like a strap that just screws in the bottom.
Well, that's Doug.
That's Doug.
Doug, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Doug.
he's right back there.
And then
It's a-
And what you do is you make it just long enough and you hold it up
Tight.
so it's
Yeah.
tight against that strap. And then when you move, it's like you have a tripod.
It's actually a string.
I'd rather use a tripod.
Tripod.
Oh, absolutely.
Are you, Ron, are you talking about like, oh, my arms aren't long enough?
This stuff is going down to the ground.
It goes down to the
Oh, that's
ground.
the ground.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you step on it.
I would rather see you do it, I would rather see you do a tripod.
Well, even a monopod.
Well, a monopod, see, but the
But
thing,
then you.
well, you're gonna get some of that,
Yeah.
even on a monopod. I would feel more comfortable. If it's me, just put it on a tripod, give me a nice static shot, and then in editing, give it some little movement if you wanna give it some movement. Or zoom in, telephoto with the tripod.
I used Doug's device. He gave me one
Yeah,
when I was in Longwood Gardens in Pennsylvania
okay,
because they do a nighttime fountain music show.
okay.
No tripods, no monopods.
Right.
They will not allow anything. So that was the only thing
Did
I
it work?
had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're better than nothing.
That helps.
Well, sure. Yeah, Doug.
What also works is if you tie it on your belt. Tie it on your belt and
Get a wedgie.
yeah.
Wow.
You tie it on your wife.
You can find these online at
Yeah.
Goldberg LLC.
Just say
The Chinese.
Ron sites.
Yeah, Ron sites.
Good.
Yeah,
Just one more question.
Yeah.
It's really bright out there. because
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
Well, sure.
71 degrees.
yeah.
But anyway, so how do you be able to see your picture while you're taking a photo? I mean, it's so bright you can't see anything.
Sure. Well, that's why I would rather, see, if it's me, I would rather put the camera on a tripod and then use a hat or my hand or something to just kind of block the sun on the viewer, get the shot all lined up, and then shoot 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds of that scene, and then maybe zoom out or zoom in. Just repeat the process and keep getting different shots.
Okay.
Because I would agree, it is hard to see sometimes. I've talked about it with the iPhone. Once these things get hot, that screen goes dark and it's really hard to see.
Yeah.
Do you have a tripod?
Yeah, at home.
And you drove 300 miles. And you didn't take your tripod. If
Frank, we didn't even expect to see any sandhill cranes.
Oh.
We heard that there was no water out there, and there was very little.
Oh, right.
Like you saw, there's
Okay.
thousands of cranes out there.
Well, it sounds like you'll be going back at some point. You will take your tripod.
Yes, I.
Where did you go?
Sorry,
Where was this?
that was.
Whitewater.
Whitewater
But we
drone.
also went someplace up by Wilcox that they had a few, there were only like 20 or 30.
Okay.
But that was at Whitewater.
Okay. Doug, did you have something?
So if you use a tripod, bring an umbrella. You can
Yep. Another great idea.
camera and
Yep.
your lens.
And yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially if it's hot.
Yep.
Yeah.
You make an umbrella that you just stick on.
But you gotta
Shade your camera.
$5.
And they're sold from China.
Exactly.
No, it's the US.
So full of good ideas. Thank you so much.
Well, no worries. And we'll take a look at your camera afterwards. Just have a quick little look-see. Okay. Does anybody have anything else on that? All right. Mike, you have got a video for us, I believe. Why don't you tell us about this video?
So several months ago, the Catholic Church had a wine tasting event,
What a surprise.
and Sharon Vineyards was the wine vineyard location that brought in all the wines for wine tasting and the associated appetizers that went along with it. So 6 of us the other day hit the roads and went to Sharon Vineyards over near just off of 83 going towards Sonoya.
Okay, great. All right, well, let's check it out. Okay. What do we think of that?
Nice page. I have a couple of questions. There were some photos that looked like they were painted, or were they
Yes.
actual paintings? Were you manipulating them that way, or were they?
There were some paintings inside the store there, and I just took pictures and cropped them and put them in the video.
I was.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like
that was.
yeah.
And I wasn't sure if that was a picture you might have taken and then manipulated,
Right.
or was that a picture?
Just a picture in the store.
Got it.
And what program did you use to edit this?
VN.
And what is that?
I don't know.
Is it a PC program or a Mac program?
It was a app from App Store. With
Oh.
Apple. Yeah.
So you basically said, here's the photos I
Yeah.
got, and then assemble this and give me some music?
Yes.
Do you,
Now I had years ago gotten some free music, and I just put that into the.
oh, okay. Did you, can you control the amount of time that the pictures are up?
Yes.
I'd
And
love to
I
see-
moved them to around 2.5 per picture.
They need to be longer.
Okay.
I'd love to see it like 4 or 5 seconds, because they kind of came on and boom, you're on to the next one and
Especially some of those that you had to read.
yeah, well, that especially. Could you, let's say that you wanted to do one for 4 seconds and then maybe there was one you had to read,
Mhm.
like Daryl's saying, you could do that for 8 seconds. Can
Sure.
you make that adjustment?
Oh, sure.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a Catholic event?
Part one is the Catholic, yeah, the wine tasting, and then they had coupons from the company, so you could, so.
Well, I kept looking for a drunken priest.
Wow. And what camera did you use? Did you use your camera? or phone?
Yeah, just my iPhone 14.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
One more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it V as in Victor, M as in Mary?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
VN?
N as in
Nancy?
Nancy.
November.
Nancy.
V and Nancy.
Yeah, VN.
Okay.
Thank you.
How did you like working with the program? In terms of-
Pretty easy.
Pretty
Yeah,
easy.
Pretty easy, yeah.
Could you do any transitions with it?
Yes.
I'd love to
I
see.
did that one transition, but I did early on with the girls right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I'd love to see you do just even a cross dissolve
Mhm.
between the images.
Sure.
And it
Is
doesn't
this
have,
all done on the phone? Or did you do this on the computer?
After I took the pictures, I did it on my iPad.
Okay.
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, just it kind of will soften up that transition so it's not as harsh, even though the music is upbeat. I think that would help.
I mean, like that music. I don't know why.
You do or don't?
I liked it.
Well, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Well, it gives it a nice energy, definitely. Yeah, I think maybe just make the images up just a little longer. It's kind of that thing of it was 1:17, but I'm like, damn, that could be 2 minutes.
Okay.
You know, if you extended, just add 2 seconds to each image at least. I think that would be nice.
Would you think of vignetting or?
I don't know if he has that possibility.
Probably. Yeah.
Could,
I probably could do that.
if you could, that'd be fine. I mean, we're getting down maybe beyond the capability of the program. I don't know. Never heard of it, so.
Well, talking about the vineyards though, they do have a website out there, Sharon Vineyards, whatever. They do have bands that play out there. They do a lot of the wine tasting. You saw the strip
Right.
where you could actually select 6 of the wines, whether you want to start with whites and go through the reds, or if you want to start all reds or whatever. So you have that selection there to do it. If there are any wine aficionados here. So, it was, it's a good little place. Like I said, bands, a lot of area there easily to accommodate a group of, people. So.
Okay, nice. What, does anybody have anything else on that they would like to see or do with it? Okay, well, thank you, sir. Let's see here. Phil, did you give me the Lone Pine thing?
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay, it's not what I meant.
What did you meant?
I meant, I was gonna say, Phil, tell us about Lone Pine, and you go, it's not my video, Kevin, you're an idiot.
Okay.
Tell us about Lone Pine, what's this all about?
This is a place where they have used as a backdrop in about 700 Hollywood movies, starting in 1920.
Mm,
And I have never been there. And so last month I was up there and we shot. This is a very short version of about a 30-minute film that I'm going to finish. And this is not finished, but I thought I'd show it.
Is this for Ollie?
Yeah, this for class.
Yeah.
Which is going to play some deep into 25 sometime.
Okay.
But anyway, Lone Pine is just a, I don't know, 200-300 acres outside of this little town in Northern California, where they just made movies, and they've made movies recently there, but mostly westerns.
Okay.
Gladiator.
So is that near Mono Lake?
Mono Lake is much further north.
Yeah. It's right
Yeah,
where the highway
Gladiator.
crosses.
I didn't mention Gladiator in the film, but that's one that was made there. The most recent ones are like Iron Man, and you'll see that in here.
Okay.
And what else? Oh, my favorite is the Graboids, the Tremors.
Okay.
Was
Oh, yeah.
was made entirely here, but mostly Hopalong Cassidy and all those 1930s, 40s, and 50s films were made there, and you'll recognize it right away.
Okay.
And it's at the foot of Mount Whitney,
Okay.
which is the highest mountain in California,
Right.
Cool. All right, let's check it out.
or the highest mountain in the 48.
Yeah.
The year is 1920, and a small company of filmmakers have driven 200 miles from Hollywood to Lone Pine, California, to make a movie. The star of the film is comedian Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle. The movie, The Roundup. Fatty plays the sheriff, and little did he know that this production would start a trend of filmmaking in this remote, boulder-strewn land that continues to this day. In Northern California, sitting in the high Sierra Range at over 14,500 feet, is Mount Whitney. It's the highest point in the lower 48. At its base sits a little patch of land that has been seen in over 700 movies shown around the world. This is the Alabama Hills. This tough, rock-covered land has hosted movie stars ranging from Roy Rogers to John Wayne. They film mostly westerns here. This landscape was perfect for chasing outlaws with a lot of gunplay. Actor William Boyd, aka Hopalong Cassidy, along with his wife, lived in Lone Pine for a time during the 1930s and 40s because he made so many pictures in these mountains. One count shows that portions of 27 Hopalong Cassidy films were shot here. While on location, he lived in what is now named the Hopalong Cassidy Cabin. The cabin, featured in a number of films, is the only set preserved by the BLM. Gene Autry did 16 movies in these hills. Beginning in 1936, Gene rode his horse and chased the bad guys through the rocks. In the Trail of San Antone, Gene and his horse Champion jumped over a 1941 Buick Roadmaster. In the car, there were two actors, Peggy Stewart and Tristan Coffin. Stuntman Joe Ergoin was actually riding the horse. Sitting at the base of Mount Whitney is a Western movie museum, and Believe it or not, the car used in that Gene Autry film has been preserved inside, along with hundreds of other artifacts from those early westerns. In addition, movie memorabilia from more modern films are sitting in this fantastic collection. Another car housed in the museum is the 1937 Plymouth Coupe, driven by Humphrey Bogart in the film High Sierra. The car has been restored and is the actual vehicle used in the Warner Brothers picture. The unique landscape of the Alabama hills provides a backdrop that movie makers simply couldn't resist. The giant boulders that dot the land are the result of erosion and weathering that seems to be unique to this area. Cowboy stars like Randolph Scott, Bob Steele, and Tim Holt always managed to end up in the hills shooting it out with the bad guys. Portions of the 1962 Cinerama production, How the West Was Won, was shot in the Valley's plains. In 1939, the hills stood in for the mountains and plains of India for the movie Gunga Din with Cary Grant. 1,000 extras were imported and had to be housed in a tent city set up in the valley. The action took place mostly over the rocks.
Find an excuse to let one of these off the chain, and I personally guarantee you the bad guys won't even want to come out of their caves. For your consideration, the Jericho.
A number of contemporary films have been shot in these hills. Portions of movies like Iron Man, The Django Unchained, and Star Trek were shot here. In 1990, one of the most unusual pictures that was filmed almost entirely in the Alabama hills was Tremors. Large underground creatures began hunting humans on the surface. They were called graboids. In order to escape, the characters in the film had to use giant boulders that dot the valley. But the Alabama hills will always be remembered for not only its unique beauty, but for a seemingly endless stream of cowboys chasing those bad guys.
What do we think of that?
That was great.
Good. Too short.
Well, see, that leaves us wanting more.
Well, this is actually a half-hour film.
Yeah.
But this is I teach a series of classes on film history at Ollie, which is part of the U of A, and that will just be a little segment in a class I'm in. I think the fall of 25 on westerns.
Nice.
So that's just And most of the pieces are between 7 and 12 minutes. And there's a lecture in between.
Sure. What do you think of his storytelling? Do you write stuff before you go, or do you shoot stuff and then adapt your script to what you're seeing?
Well, most of the things that I show in these classes are just film clips, and I apologize for the quality because I don't have,
Right.
like I used to have, access to all this stuff. Now I don't have it. I just have to use the internet.
Yeah.
But I write it. I pick a topic. I'm working on a class on noir right now.
Okay.
So I just look at 50 noir films and then I start writing, and then I
sample what you need.
Yeah, and then I pull the clips and that kind of stuff.
So are we gonna see these on the TCM channel?
Yeah.
TMC or whatever?
They should.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you, how long does it take you, would you say, to research a film? Let's say like this little 7-minute thing that we saw. Obviously, you're looking at a bunch of Westerns, you're seeing what was shot there, and then you're pulling clips. Now you're writing your script. How long do you think you spend on something like that?
A piece like that would probably take me 4 or 5 hours.
Max?
That's almost, yeah. But you gotta understand, I edited for 30 years.
Well, I know you did the news stuff, which you have to do quickly, but I guess to me, it's like, I don't know, I think of the process. If you had told me you'd spend 50 hours, I'd say, yeah, I can see it. It's so
didn't.
nice.
Not even close.
Wow. That's amazing.
But that's what, when you work commercially,
Right.
you're working for money.
Yes.
And
I know.
time is money.
Yes.
So I worked in stations all over the United States. My favorite story is I worked for a station in Miami, and the guy who owned it was a shoe magnate. He had sweatshops in Central America, and that's where he made his money. He came in one day, he bought the station, I think kind of sight unseen, as NBC affiliate. And he came into the editing room. And, here are 10 or 15 editors in a row just cutting like crazy for the next show. And there's film all over the floor because it's just the stuff it's the cutting room, literally the cutting room floor. And he looked at that and he goes, "This is a tremendous waste. I want all this film reused."
And of course, everybody ignored him at that point.
Everybody just paid no attention to him, just kept on cutting.
So Phil, where are you going on the internet to get the clips?
Everywhere. Internet Archive, are you guys familiar with that?
What is it?
Internet Archive. They're in lawsuits right now over this very thing, mostly with book publishers. But that's a good source. There's some real tricks into downloading. It isn't like you just click and I'll download it.
Right.
There are some kind of tricky ways. And then I use a downloading program because I'm so cheap, I'm just using the cheap version, which allows 10 downloads a day.
What software is that?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you. I don't remember, but it's excellent. And I also run these through a couple of programs to clean them up.
Sure.
And a lot of times they will trick people by screwing up. I don't know if you're familiar with the pulses that are used in video, but they get into the vertical interval and change all kinds of things so that you can't copy it. But if you have the right programs, you can go in and strip all that stuff out and clean it up. And I have to do that on almost everything.
Would you do just out of curiosity, would you do a search for films that were shot in this area and then say, okay, now I'll go look for those films? Or do you kind of have an idea?
I have pretty much an idea.
Okay.
And then that museum it's better than the ones in Hollywood. I mean, that museum is
Wealth of information.
fabulous. And they had some great resource books, and I bought them all.
Oh, okay. Nice. Well, that would certainly help.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was wondering how you got all the detail and the research on some of that.
Well, actually, most of this I know.
Well, that's good.
It's still up there?
Apparently it is.
It's fading.
Got to the fourth or fifth level. That's not the challenge.
That's right.
So welcome to the group.
So the movie clips that you get, are those mostly in public domain now, or is it a combination?
Most of them are, but a lot of the, as an example, the way Hollywood releases material, they release the trailers and that kind of stuff to television,
Right.
and you can use those forever. So that's what I use.
I see.
Things that have been cleared, and also these are all done under a piece of law, of sort of unknown law called fair use.
Yeah.
And in fair use, there are 5 different things. If you hit all 5, you're fine. If you don't, you'll see some layers.
Okay, so like one of those fair uses is educational?
It's educational.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And
Brevity, education, something called transformation. There are 5 legal steps that you can take that you can defend yourself with. And it's not necessarily codified in law, but it is in case law.
okay. And is Lone Pine on the eastern side of the Sierras or west side?
East.
It's on the eastern side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On 395, isn't it?
Yeah, because
So
I
it's
know how
395.
many times we breezed by that place.
Yeah, just right as you get ready to cross into the desert. That valley.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, Death Valley is to the east.
Yes,
Um,
that road, it exits right there out of Lone
Yep,
Pine.
that's right.
Oh, okay.
And there are other ways to get over there too.
So the
We can make a stop in Lone Pine next time we go through.
Yes.
the clip that I'm going to show here today is on John Huston, and I was trying to get some of his videos, but I wasn't able to. Everywhere I went to try to get it, I wasn't able to actually get the video footage. So I did stills of it for my video. But
I did a whole class on John Huston, and I've got dozens of clips in there.
Yeah.
I had no problem.
Could you send him a couple?
That must have been on the wrong.
Well, he's already
wrong website.
Well, this is for.
I think I was on a National Archives.
Internet Archive.
No, the National Library of Congress.
The way you can tell the value of a film is by looking at the internet. As an example, Maltese Falcon, which is the film which really kicked off modern noir. You cannot see for free that entire film on the internet. And that is a measure of the film's value. But you can get a lot of clips. I've got probably a dozen clips from it. I don't know why you had troubles.
Yeah, no, well, I might be doing it the wrong way or not having the right software or something. So maybe we can sit down and you can give me a little more information.
The key is to get the downloader software. And honestly, I can't think of the name of this.
Look it up when you get home.
Yeah.
Well, that leads to Todd's video. So Todd, tell us about your video.
Well, this is since I've taken over Showtime, I've been doing a little prequel before I start showing all the videos and everything.
Notice how Todd always stands.
Well,
you know what? Because he's a professional speaker.
Then face the TV. But anyhow, so this year there were 5 directors who served during World War II. And so each month I'm doing a different director. And this one is on John Huston. All these are 5 minutes long because I start with this and 5 minutes to Showtime, 4 minutes. And so that's what. Pardon me?
I didn't know that was the 5 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everything. So this is what I put together. So you're the first folks to see this and everything.
I thought you showed this.
No, I showed December's a couple weeks ago. This is January's, the one that's coming up January the 7th, 8th, something like that.
So we're really privileged.
You are privileged.
All right, let's see what Todd put together.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay. What do we think of that?
Very nice.
Is the music the same music that you used before? I really like it.
I think it suits the mood.
It definitely suits the mood.
Yeah.
And
It keeps a continuity also through each different month has a different story, but the music is the same. It ties it together that way too.
well, and definitely the music helps create that mood of this is informative, but it's also kind of serious, which I think is nice. And there in the center there was maybe when he was talking about the first film that he did, all these photos. And what are they, screen grabs or what
Yes,
are they?
they are.
Boy, I wonder if there's any way.
These films. You just should have asked.
Well, he still can. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, he's gonna. This is done.
Yeah, but he can. I know Todd. If you give him this stuff, he will insert it into this video.
Well, the amazing part of it, the battle for San Pietro is completely fake.
Yes.
There is. I don't think there's an actual frame in that film that's real. He just redid the whole thing, all the bodies, everything, because they were shooting with big 35 millimeter cameras, and it was difficult.
I bet. Yeah, when I got to this point, I wasn't sure what this imagery was. So
Well, that's airplanes
Well, I figured
Landing on the
crashing.
water covered runway.
okay.
But this was not, the Aleutians was all actual footage. The other film in Italy was just made up.
It was all made up, right? Yeah. Well, it was interesting because the Army actually put out a press release praising him for his crew and filming this during the battle, which was all a lie.
Well, just being there was dangerous. So maybe there's some validity.
Yeah.
Well, these I really like these. I mean, the one that you did last month I thought was great too. So I think this is a great way to start showtime, kind of get people in the mood. What's going on?
Todd, are you familiar with the documentary Five Came Back?
Yeah.
These guys.
Yeah. Which is a great documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you talked about that before?
Yeah.
What was the premise of that?
Well, it's these 5 directors.
Oh, it's the 5 directors. Okay.
Yeah.
And is that on Netflix or?
I think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, Frank Capra was the guy that was really behind all this.
Right.
I think almost everybody's watching the images. I was watching the text.
Yeah.
You got
some
some
spelling.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and Houston's should be possessive, apostrophe S.
All right.
You know, there's quite a few possessive sections in there that need the apostrophe.
It's tough. If I send you the video, will you point out which things he needs to fix for this?
Be happy to.
English was not my major.
Nor mine.
Yeah. Nor mine either. Mine's marketing, but no, mine's license. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that grateful should be GRATEFUL.
Thank you.
Man.
Can't resist it. And I was trying to fix it, right?
No, I appreciate that.
Well, and you know what? Ultimately, that's why it's great to show stuff because I know in Final Cut it will do kind of a spell check, but there's times where it misses something that I've done. And I'd rather have somebody point it out and get it right before I put it out there. So
It's easy to change.
yeah, exactly. It's an easy fix. So, okay.
Yeah.
Well done. Does anybody else have anything on that? Okay. Well, thank you, sir. What was the this spellboard? What is this?
Svalbard.
Say it again.
Svalbard.
Svalbard. Okay. Tell us about it.
Okay, so on this one, it's just basically kind of the trip I took in April, but I'm using Google Earth and I want to know your opinion on that, and I'm trying to work a little more with the voice over things.
Okay.
Just see what it is, you know, get it ready for like a travel log or something.
Okay.
But yeah, because some of the Google Earth stuff is a little fast. maybe, so just gonna get an opinion on that kind of stuff.
I like it already. Look at this.
Yeah.
All right, let's check it out.
Since I was in Oslo last year, and at that time did all the tourist activities such as museums and parks, this time I just wanted to walk around the city and check things out on my own. One of the activities I enjoy doing in new cities is joining a foodie walking tour. So I signed up for one and met a wonderful group of people, and we checked out various food markets and restaurants around Oslo. I stopped off at Trondheim last year as a stop on the ferry from Bergen to Kirkenes. So this time I can take a couple of days to again just walk around and take in another foodie walking tour. Trondheim is Norway's former Viking capital and is the third largest city in Norway. Built over the gravesite of St. Olav, the Nidaros Cathedral is one of the highlights in Trondheim. Tromsø is the Arctic Norway's biggest city, as it sits 400 kilometers above the Arctic Circle. It is a famous place to see the northern lights, and it has previously been occupied by both Vikings and the Sami people. Tromsdalen Church, as known as the Arctic Cathedral, can't be seen from most of the Tromsø Sound. arrived in Longyearbyen, Svalbard. Even though the Svalbard archipelago is part of Norway, it is outside of the Schengen boundary and the Norwegian Passport Union, most likely because there are still Russian settlements there. Thus, returning to Norway from Svalbard is treated the same as from any other international flight. When I arrived in late March and early April, it was already 24 hours of daylight. Longyearbyen is the largest settlement in Svalbard. In earlier days, it was used by whalers and then miners when the coal mines opened up in the beginning of the 20th century. People need to carry rifles as bear protections outside of the town limits, so you will see signs to remind folks to leave their guns at the door when shopping. Of course, what Svalbard is famous for is the Arctic wildlife: polar bears, walrus, belugas, Svalbard reindeer, Arctic fox, and so much more.
Hey, what do we think of that?
Keep on all those postcards you.
It is one stock photo, but there's a lot of other ones.
Those are amazing. Yeah. You did use your drone.
Actually, no, there was a photo I did.
What did you?
Afraid to do it off the boat, you know, so.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, no, I might go going, he didn't care. It's like, oh, can I use that phone? He said, sure.
What did you think of the Google Earth stuff?
I like.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
It wasn't like too.
No, I thought it would.
How about the only one that was really fast was the one out of Phoenix?
First
Yeah.
time.
That first zoom out, but the rest were fine.
Yeah.
So when you got to the end of that first one, you land, I didn't see it on the screen. Was that Oslo?
Yeah.
Because I didn't.
Yeah, you know what? I'd love to.
Just have the word come up. Oslo.
Yeah, because you when you did show that next clip, it shows the name of the town that you're going into.
Yeah.
If I was a viewer, had never seen in this before, I completely lost the context, the way the film was constructed. Because in the beginning, until I saw Oslo, I would have not known we were in Norway. Because the Google Earth thing just doesn't tell it. And you need to put in large type over those cities so you can see them. But you know, that was the first minute and a half, 2 minutes. The thing was missing was we're going to Norway. And you didn't ever tell us that. Now, if you're going to show it to your friends or whatever, they know you've been to Norway.
Yeah.
But the average viewer would have no.
Just have it on the
Yeah.
original.
If you have it on the original,
Their title.
They have a.
I didn't know if that was an intro or.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I would agree. I mean, it's kind of like the when the Google Earth, you have the Phoenix airport and it starts, and I'm kind of like, okay, I've forgotten this as to where we're going. I do like the idea. Phil's idea.
So maybe do it similar from Phoenix to Oslo then?
Well, no, she did that, but then when she gets to Oslo, then say we're in Norway. I mean, we kind of were as Google Earth is coming through.
Oh,
I don't
that's.
I don't have a reference as to where this
But
is.
this is fun.
Get it.
Yeah.
That's great. Just.
Yeah, but
Right there, it needs to say Oslo.
I'd love to see it be somewhere in the frame.
Promised you that I wanted to
Oslo.
explore that.
Oslo, wait.
Yeah.
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 I signed up for it, but then I.
Oh, well, you can Google Earth is free, you know.
But you got some great stuff.
Oh, yeah, spectacular.
Big, just great
Did I
thing
check the-
is your audio mix.
Yes.
Horrible.
Why audio makes it bad?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's.
Your voice clicks low and.
Oh, yeah,
high
I
and.
with that, that's.
Yeah, the ducking just doesn't work.
Yesterday or anything, I'm just speaking into a microphone.
When we're done
Oh, no,
today,
not that.
no, no,
It's
it's the levels.
Well, I went and tried to even them out.
Yeah, it-
Because I think.
it didn't work.
For music, it's a little different.
Music's really loud and then your voice comes on, I can't hear you. What you're saying.
Yeah,
I tried to reduce the volume of the, background people and turn almost nothing.
When we're done today, can you hang out for a few minutes after? I want to put this in Final Cut so I can show you some of those levels.
Okay.
I mean, basically,
Cut like another piece of software.
well, that's the video editing software that I use.
Okay.
And the other thing is the trip on the cutter on the icebreaker, which was great.
Yes.
But you didn't tell us where you were.
Right.
We have no idea what you're doing.
No.
We see this boat, and then all of a sudden, and then what a great adventure! I mean, I just
Yeah.
that's
Truth is, she didn't know where she was either.
yeah.
Ah,
Well, just because you don't know where you are.
Yeah, there's some truth to that.
hang on. Well, go ahead. 1 second. Go ahead.
Some of the images you filled up the rest of the screen with blurred, other ones you didn't. Personally, I'd like to either see you fill up the whole screen when you take your photo and just zoom in so it fills up the screen, or put some blur on the sides of it, and then the horizontal ones, sometimes it might have been that much black on the top, other times it was just a hairline.
On the side?
Yeah, the whole frame, all the way around.
Are those
Some really nice holes here.
I did those fills.
Yeah. You did sometimes, but you didn't do it all the time. But see, like that one there, see the black bar on the top?
You got this up top here. Up top is
You're not filling the frame.
You got the black at the bottom.
And you don't have to fill the frame, but it should be consistent.
There you go.
Yeah, it should be consistent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim.
I didn't notice, and maybe she did at the beginning, she should put some credits in there. This is beautiful. She needs some credits.
Credits in terms of what would you ever say?
Her name and what it was produced with, that type of thing.
I mean, I could see, you could definitely put your name in there. I don't know if.
At least the name.
Yeah, I would do that, but I don't know. It's very much a personal thing. Some people like to put the credits in terms of, now if the music, like Pixabay music, they want, you to give them their notice.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, where was the music from?
I use that Tune Pocket, so it's a subscription, but then all the music is legit.
Okay.
To put on,
Yeah.
or whatever, so, yeah.
So you don't have to give a credit.
You don't have to give credit.
I don't.
And I normally would never do that on any of mine. If I did Pixabay, yes, I would definitely give the person credit for
Yeah,
it.
because they demand it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a part of the agreement to use it.
If to use it. I mean, I can see where, like, as an example, Holly loves to have the credit at the end and she's got all the information. Well, that's Holly's thing. If we don't do it, I think it's personal in terms of how you want to do it.
But depends on where you're gonna be showing it. Some people wanna see that stuff and other people on.
I guess the question would be, in this group, we might want to know, hey, what did you edit that program in? Or what camera do you use? Does the general public that goes to Travelog even have any remote idea as to what programs are being used or care? They just want to look at the beautiful pictures and the videos, which are great. So
That'll be great for Travelog once
it will be
clean
great.
up a few things.
We'll work on that just a little bit after class.
But this is really
nice
stuff.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Sign me up. I want to go.
The mode, you can see like when I'm having my little travel touristy stuff.
Right.
Phone pictures. And
Sure.
then I'll switch over to the actual wildlife photography.
And what program are you using to edit?
Well, I use the different things. So I use Photopia to put it all together, but I use the DaVinci to kind of even out the video.
Okay.
Crop them or whatever.
Okay.
Stick them in the Photopia just for organizing it.
Okay.
Putting in the music and stuff like that.
And then drone footage. Remember that? Oh, that was so good.
It's gorgeous.
Oh.
And then how are you recording your audio?
Well, I just have a little microphone.
Okay.
In the computer, but that's the other thing.
Well, that quality was fine. I just, the levels are the issue. That's the biggest issue with and we'll work on that a little bit after class.
You could have kept the music at an extremely low level for the whole thing.
Yes.
It would have worked.
Yeah. What happens is there's your as Diane was saying, your voice is lower and then that music goes way up really quick.
I have to do that,
Well, I know.
It comes down and talk, and then comes back up again.
But I guess what I'm saying is that music went up too far, and I'll show you that. Compared to your voice should always be, I would base everything on your voice and have it consistent throughout the video.
Yeah.
And then you come back with your music and add your levels and adjust things.
But thank you for narrating.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes. Yeah, too bad Larry isn't here. Because he would love it. He loves narration. Well, thank you for that. Does anybody have anything else on that? Well done. The photography is gorgeous. Look damn cold, and the guy putting the wetsuit thing on with the life preserver. I thought, oh man, if you got to go in with all that, wow,
Like a survival suit.
Well, yeah, exactly.
A dry suit.
Yeah.
Did you taste a lot of the food?
I almost got cold.
It's pretty cold.
That's
All right, I'm going to show one quick thing, and then we're done for today. Todd and Diane have seen this. We're going from the cold to Hawaii. This is a quick GoPro thing that I did. It's only 1 minute. I was able to go snorkeling with the fishes. And the thing that really helped me, and I told Todd this, we worked on some of his GoPro stuff before, and we learned a little bit about slowing down the video that it helped with stabilization. So anyway, this is just a quick 1 minute little video. And I'll be doing a bunch of stuff from Hawaii, but of course I don't have time right now. So anyway, this is my little quickie. There you go.
Very nice.
Well, thank you.
How did you get those blackfish to get in there? That was amazing. Great comment.
I had nothing to do with it.
AI.
AI, no.
And how much did you slow it down?
I shot at 120 frames a second. So basically shot it in slow motion because I knew, well, the one
Oh, so you did this in camera?
in camp,
Okay.
the one thing that was interesting, because and Sherry Lee did some too at one point, and don't you use like a stick or something?
Yeah.
Well, the one thing that I found, and I've never done this before, so on this boat, they give you the mask and the snorkel and the fins and the whole shebang, and they're like, "Do you want a noodle?" And I'm like, "I don't want a damn noodle. I want to swim with the fish, you know." And I'm like, "Okay, give me the noodle." So you put the noodle around your chest, and basically you're just floating. Well, the thing that's great about that was I've got the camera, and I can have two cans on camera. And I have the GoPro attached to, they call it a floaty, so in case you drop it, it floats and you don't lose it and swear. Anyway, I was able to be still by just floating. And so by shooting at the high frame rate, the GoPro, the colors are amazing and I just like blown away. So go ahead.
Did you slow this down to show it here?
No, that's the speed it's shot at.
120.
All in camera.
It's all in camera. And that really
Makes a difference.
it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So at some point, and as you talked about too, the water is very clear. There's not a bunch of crap floating around, which was nice.
Were you in Hanauma Bay? Where were you?
No, this was on the Big Island by Captain Cook.
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, nice, and I got a bunch of really, really nice stuff. So I'm excited to put it together. Yeah,
I like the way that you did not move your camera. You had motion by the fish.
there's motion by the fish, and I'm also doing the little zoom electronically in final, but you can't tell very little. But just the idea, if I would have been swimming and been like underwater, and I'm paddling or I'm kicking my feet. So I guess the thought is, if you ever get to go snorkeling, ask them for a noodle.
Well, also, depending on where you're snorkeling, I mean, sometimes water's calm, which is great.
Yes.
Other times, if it's choppy, you're still.
Yes, that's what you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, in this area, just beautiful. And they said you got 1 hour, and I had 2 batteries for the GoPro, and I thought, okay, well, the one battery lasted the whole hour, and I was going back to the boat to get another one. They're like, "It's time to go." I'm like, "Damn, it's another hour." So anyway, I'll be having a bunch of stuff on this.
Did you have to use a filter with your GoPro for the underwater shots?
No,
because we did do that in Maui, where they gave you I think it was a red filter,
Like a magenta? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah. And it helped bring out some of the colors underwater. Now, of course, when you brought it above the water line.
I'll tell you what, these now with the GoPros, it's making the adjustment for color. And so you don't have to do anything, which is great. And then I did just give it a little white balance to clean it up just a little bit, but that was it. And then I did some where I was out of the water and here's the boat and I'm shooting the boat. So I wouldn't have had that issue where I'd have a filter on and now I'm screwed for up above.
Yeah. Well, actually, Kevin helped me because when the first time I had the GoPro and I got some of the colored filters and I was testing them when I was scuba diving in Saba, and they came back all red and everything. I'm
You
like,
cleaned them up a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, this was the GoPro 11, and I'd say if you get one of the newer GoPros, you don't have to do everything. It automatically does everything for you. It does just beautiful job. So, okay, that is it for today. Unless anybody has anything else.
Did you want to show that one? Just
oh yeah.
Other thing.
What was that? Was the image?
Yeah.
Okay. Explain this real quick, and then I'll talk about what this is.
So some of my videos, are a lot of megapixels, and they're over 5 gigabytes, and I'm not paying for any service or anything. So, Kevin has me lower the image from HD or 4K down to 720. And so these are some options that I had. And so I just thought, I'm like, okay, well, I don't even know what the heck this really means and everything. So I just put this on a slide and asked Kevin to possibly just explain to us. So, because 720 is pretty much all we need to send it.
You know what, though? You don't have the others, the 1080, do you?
Oh, no.
Oh, what did you show me, though?
Well, that's
on
on a piece of paper.
Okay. Anyway, long story short, the first two are the old 4:3 video format that we see before we had HD. PAL is the European version, meaning they're a different, right?
It is European, yes.
And what's the frame rate, or it's just the size that they use?
That's just the size, but that's not what is used today. That's the old PAL under standard definition, and that would be 4:3.
Okay, all right.
So the first 3 are 4:3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then basically HD square is high def. 720, the back number is always your number. So when we refer to 1080 or 720 or 4K, it's always the back number. We don't say 1280 is the size. So for some videos, you might want to send somebody something, you're going to do it at 720. If you're going to do them here in class, we like them 1080 because they look better. You could do 4K, but that's going to you have to shoot it in 4K, and it's going to eat up a lot of memory if you're editing. So anyway, so that's kind of the goodies. But if you ever have questions about that, 720, there was 720p, I think you had on your list, and then you had, you get your paper real quick. Okay. He's got, there's 720p, which is what that is. Then there's a 1080 HD square. So that would be this only in 1080 square. If you were doing like a Instagram is square. And then he's got 1080 HD. And that would be what we would normally edit in. So.
And you don't have any of the modern camera resolutions up there.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot more. I just listed these because, Kevin's like,
it's 1920 is what.
Right. Like 1080.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, now that we've confused most of you on this,
Definitely.
basically just output it at the best resolution you can and go from there. We're meeting next week, and what is it? Is it the 2nd?
30th.
30th? Excellent.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Apparently it's 7 days from today. So, I hope everybody has a very safe Christmas if you're going to travel anywhere. We'll see you next week, and bring me some videos and we will share. And for those that want to stay after class for a few minutes, we'll do the HD, or I'll put the thing in. All right. Goodbye, everybody.